At 2:17 a.m. on a freezing November night, a lone streetlight flickered over an empty sidewalk in Chicago, and in less than 6 minutes, something happened there that would change an entire neighborhood forever. No screams. No gunshots echoing through the air. Just a passing car, a shadow moving too fast, and a man who was never seen the same way again. What really happened on that street is not just a crime story. It's a story about power, silence, fear, and how ordinary places can hide extraordinary darkness. This is the story of a block that looked completely normal during the day but carried secrets once the sun went down. During daylight hours, West Alder Street looked like any working-class American neighborhood. Small brick houses stood shoulder to shoulder, paint slightly faded, porches decorated with plastic chairs and old wind chimes. Kids rode bicycles after school. Elderly neighbors walked small dogs along cracked sidewalks. A corner convenience store sat quietly at the intersection, its neon open sign glowing softly every evening. Nothing about this place suggested danger. But statistics told a different story. Over the previous 18 months, reported robberies had doubled. Carjackings were becoming common after midnight. Residents began installing doorbell cameras, security lights, and reinforced locks. Still, most believed the violence happened somewhere else, on another block, in another part of town. That illusion shattered the night Daniel Harper disappeared. Daniel was 32 years old, a warehouse supervisor who worked late shifts and usually arrived home shortly after 2 a.m. He followed the same routine every night. Park the car. Check his phone. Walk up the narrow path to his front door. On surveillance footage from a neighbor's house, Daniel's headlights are seen turning the corner at exactly 2:16 a.m. He parks. He steps out. He pauses, as if sensing something. Then a second vehicle slowly enters the frame. It doesn't speed. It doesn't. It simply rolls forward with deliberate calm. What happens next takes less than 20 seconds. The footage shows a figure stepping out from the passenger side. There is a brief struggle, quick, controlled, almost silent. The camera angle doesn't capture faces clearly. Within moments, Daniel is forced into the back seat of the second vehicle. The car drives away with its lights off. His own car remains parked, door slightly open, engine still running. By morning, neighbors assumed he had left early for work. It wasn't until his employer called his sister later that afternoon that anyone realized something was wrong. Police initially treated the case as a possible voluntary disappearance. There were no obvious signs of violence left at the scene. No shattered glass. No visible blood. No dramatic evidence. But detectives quickly noticed something unsettling. Daniel had recently reported witnessing a street-level drug transaction near the corner store. According to a friend, he had complained about increased gang presence in the area and mentioned license plate numbers he thought looked suspicious. That small detail shifted the direction of the investigation. Officers began reviewing weeks of surveillance footage from nearby homes and businesses. Patterns started emerging. The same dark sedan appeared multiple times over a 2-week span, usually between 1:30 and 3 a.m. It cruised slowly. It stopped briefly near intersections. It never stayed long. Detectives believed it wasn't random patrol, it was scouting. Meanwhile, residents began sharing their own experiences. A woman 3 houses down reported hearing footsteps outside her window several nights in a row. A teenage boy admitted he had been approached by 2 men asking questions about who lived on the block and who worked night shifts. Fear spread quickly. For the first time, neighbors started looking at each other with suspicion instead of familiarity. Police traced the sedan to a rental agency using falsified identification. The paperwork led nowhere. The phone number provided was disconnected. The driver's license turned out to be counterfeit. It was clear whoever orchestrated Daniel's disappearance had planned carefully. Investigators explored multiple theories: gang retaliation, mistaken identity, witness intimidation. Daniel had no criminal record. No known enemies. Financial records showed nothing unusual. But then a breakthrough came from an unexpected source. A delivery driver reviewing his dashcam footage from that same night discovered he had unknowingly passed the dark sedan less than 10 minutes after the abduction. The footage captured a partial reflection of the passenger's face in the side mirror. Though blurry, enhanced imaging revealed a distinctive tattoo along the jawline, 3 small stars arranged in a triangle. That symbol matched markings associated with a local street crew suspected of expanding territory in recent months. Suddenly, the case wasn't just about one missing man. It was about control. Street-level power shifts often begin quietly. Small businesses pressured to pay protection money. Graffiti tags replacing older symbols. New faces watching corners. According to crime analysts, West Alder Street sat at a geographic boundary between rival groups. Eliminating perceived threats, especially someone who might talk, would send a message. Weeks passed without public updates. Daniel's family held candlelight vigils. Posters covered telephone poles. Community meetings grew heated as residents demanded more patrol presence. Behind closed doors, detectives conducted surveillance on suspected crew members. Phone data eventually placed one suspect's device near the abduction site at the exact time Daniel disappeared. A search warrant executed at an abandoned garage linked to the group uncovered duct tape fibers consistent with those found in Daniel's car. Though still circumstantial, the evidence began forming a narrative. Prosecutors built a case around conspiracy and kidnapping. Yet Daniel himself was never located. Without a body, the charge of homicide remained difficult to pursue. The absence of physical closure left the neighborhood suspended in uncertainty. Months later, 3 arrests were made. Authorities announced they believed Daniel had been targeted because he had taken photos of suspicious activity days before he vanished. His phone, recovered from a riverbank miles away, confirmed he had documented vehicles parked outside the convenience store. The final image timestamped on his device showed the same dark sedan. The trial revealed chilling testimony about how street crews maintain silence through fear. Witnesses described coded language, rotating vehicles to avoid pattern detection, and using ordinary rental cars to blend in. Jurors listened to hours of surveillance analysis. Eventually, 2 defendants were convicted of kidnapping and racketeering charges. But questions lingered. Where was Daniel? Was he killed that night? Was he moved elsewhere? Investigators believe he was likely taken out of state within hours. Without remains, certainty remains impossible. Today, West Alder Street looks calmer. Increased patrols and community programs have reduced reported incidents. New families have moved in. Fresh paint covers old graffiti. But longtime residents still glance at the streetlight where it happened. The flicker has been repaired, yet the memory remains. Street crime rarely announces itself with dramatic warnings. It grows in subtle shifts: new cars circling blocks, unfamiliar faces studying routines, silence replacing conversation. Daniel Harper's disappearance became more than a statistic, it became a cautionary reminder of how fragile normalcy can be. In cities across America, similar streets exist. Quiet by day, unpredictable by night. The lesson from this case isn't just about danger, it's about awareness, community vigilance, and how small observations can carry unexpected consequences. Crime on the street level often reflects deeper systemic struggles: economic pressure, territorial conflict, cycles of retaliation. When one person steps slightly outside the unspoken boundaries, the response can be swift. Daniel believed he was protecting his neighborhood by paying attention.